people are drinking wine, and young people are drinking wine. They're just not drinking it in the way that people want them to. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be in a wine club. They want to explore. They want to go to a store. I do think they're drinking better, but less of things. And they don't really care as much about the history, and they don't really always care about the farming aspect of it, mm-hmm. but they want a good bottle, and they're willing to pay a good price. So it's not that they're trying to say, I need every bottle to be maybe under $10. They just want something really good that they can look up and they can have it and share it with friends, but they don't want to be forced into joining a wine club. I think for a lot of young people, they don't have that, and especially if they're moving back home. But I've been traveling, and I'm seeing young people buy bottles, but they're having it always with like pizza, right? Always with something fun. So I think if we just kind of take out wine still has a lot of pretense. We just got to do away with that.
From the hearth of Grandi Langhe, real conversations captured on site. Presented with the media partnership of the Italian Wine Podcast.
Hello, welcome back. My name's Stevie Kim, and this again is the Italian Wine Podcast at Grandi Langhe 2026. And here we have Julia Coney.
Hey, how you doing, sis?
I haven't seen you in such a long time.
It's been what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, I think so.
It's been a minute.
This is your first time at Grandi Langhe,
First time at Grandi Langhe.
Right. What do you think? I know you've just got here, but it's...
Well, it's one place I can taste all these wines from the region, and I am just fascinated and blown away because it's been a region I really want to delve into, and I'm finding myself loving all the whites.
But listen, Julia, for those who are less familiar, okay?
Yes.
So can you just introduce yourself, who you are, and you wear many different hats, but what your primary activity is?
Well, my name is Julia Coney. Primary activity, I'm a wine educator, so I write about wine, I talk about wine. I love and enjoy wine, and I love talking wine with the consumer and making it approachable and fun. And also I like to do pairings, so I like to do fun pairings.
You know, I think I recall meeting you also on Clubhouse.
Yeah, we were on Clubhouse
during COVID.
Wasn't that a thing?
Oh my gosh,
that was a thing.
You know, we're still actually recording on Clubhouse.
You are?
Yes, once a week.
Okay.
We do the Ambassador's Corner because actually for recording it's an excellent platform.
It's an excellent platform.
It is a very high quality audio platform, and it kind of fizzled out after COVID, right?
Well, I think so because everybody was back outside, but I still feel like it can be a connection with people. And like you say, you're using it, the ambassador. I think now for me, I've had a couple of years of a lot of personal challenges. So it's getting back into my love of wine. And to me, this is the first trip in a long time where I feel so excited about wine. I'm so excited about wine. I mean, it's over 500 producers here, and I know I won't be able to taste all, but the ones are on my list.
515.
515. Well, 515. So I'm so excited, but it's interesting to see again, to taste, to learn about the region. I didn't realize last night that you all have a certification for the Barolo and Barbaresco, and kind of thinking about doing that. Haven't had a certification challenge in a while, so maybe that might be my next one.
You should do Veneto International Academy.
I know you want me to do it.
I mean, it's tough.
It's hard.
3 MWs failed the exam, so
it is hard. Everyone I know who eventually passed told me how hard it is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm I don't know.
So tell me your strategy, right, as to how you are navigating Grandi Langhe, and how do you decide which wineries to go visit?
This is my strategy.
Okay, let's hear
Anyone that sent an email that said, Julia.
Come and see us.
Come and see us. That's my top choice. I rank those, and then I go to a lot of people and from there. But someone had a really fun email and said, we understand your inbox hates us, but come and see us. And I thought it was so catchy that I had to go see them.
Right. Which winery was that?
It was Gilivi.
Ilivi,
that one. So I just thought it was great. They had a great sparkling. I just thought it was fun and catchy. I thought it was very different. So I went to those first, and I did it in order of booths because there's so many booths. And I was like, okay, that's how I'm going to navigate it. And so, but I wasn't trying to taste everything, but I really was trying to taste a lot of the Arnaz because I don't get to taste a lot of those in the States. Mm-hmm. And I would go between those, Nebbiolo, the Alba Langhe and then going into Barolo. But now I love Nebbiolo, right? You know D-Lynn Proctor? You know D-Lynn Proctor in California?
I'm not sure.
You'll know
maybe.
him when you
Yeah,
see him.
yeah.
He used to tell me, once I fall in love with Barolo, I'll know it.
Yeah.
And I know it now. I'm in love with Barolo. I'm in love with this region, so I get it.
Okay.
He always told me that.
But don't you find it a little bit, I mean, it's very democratic, right? Everything is in alphabetical order.
Everything is organized
Yeah,
to a T.
But it's a little bit confusing, right? Because like if I want to go taste like all the Arnaise first, you have to really strategize and plan in advance.
You have to plan in advance, but you guys sent everything for us to plan in advance, so it's really not that hard. But like I say, if they have 6 wines, I may taste 2 or 3, and I move on. But I do like the structure, that alphabetical order and the numerical order, so I can just look up and say, okay, I want to go to 58. Okay, I want to go to like 11. I want to go to 209. I like that because that's the way my brain works. And so I taste in the order. I made a note in my phone. I put in the desk number, the section number, and the producer. And I just went through and I put the little green emoji icon to let me know I checked that person off.
So what kind of wine education are you currently implementing?
I focus on consumers. I don't do industry. I think there are people who are better at it than me, and I don't want to start, but I focus on consumers tasting wine and enjoying it and not really trying to think about it too much. I think for consumers, there's so much wine, and instead of just saying, do you like it or not, they're trying to go, well, I think I'm supposed to smell this, and I always say, smell is subjective. You smell what you smell, but also they're wondering, people now want to know what to pair it with. I have found if I can find a person's favorite snack, I can pair wine. Mm-hmm. Instead of going this dish, because most people, somebody may not like red sauce pasta, somebody may like white sauce, somebody may not like pizza. But most people like potato chips. And if you give me your potato chip, or you give me, in the States, your Chipotle order, your fast food, your sweet green order, I can find a wine for you. And so that's how I approach consumers. I ask them what they like to snack first.
So how are you finding I know you're very social media savvy,
Yes.
but how are you finding your students? Where are they coming to? Do you have a school?
No, I don't have a school.
Is it online?
It's basically Instagram, Threads, and my Substack. That is how I find people. And I'm in community with different community. Like my friend has a mom group. I find women through there. And I find women, in my work that I was doing with American Airlines, I'll find consumers because they're traveling, they're in a lounge, I'm talking to them, they want me to teach a virtual class. And I found even now people still want to have a virtual class. I mean, I know we think about classroom as physical space and people going to that, but people are all over and they're connected, and some people will look at a class later. So I'm finding myself actually moving toward doing a lot of more virtual classes in 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Alrighty. So right now, what do you think, what are the kind of the trends that you're seeing with your students, mostly consumers, in terms of their preference for wine? And everyone is saying people are not drinking anymore.
Okay, I have a theory on this. People are drinking wine, and young people are drinking wine. They're just not drinking it in the way that people want them to. They don't want to be in a wine club. They want to explore. They want to go to a store. I do think they're drinking better, but less of things. And they don't really care as much about the history, and they don't really always care about the farming aspect of it, but they want a good bottle, and they're willing to pay a good price. So it's not that they're trying to say, I need every bottle to be maybe under $10. They just want something really good that they can look up and they can have it and share it with friends. But they don't want to be forced into joining a wine club. I think for a lot of young people, they don't have that, and especially if they're moving back home. But I've been traveling, and I'm seeing young people buy bottles, but they're having it always with pizza, right? Always with something fun. So I think if we just kind of take out wine still has a lot of pretense. We just got to do away with that.
One of the things I recall, you are the founder of Black Wine Professional Group. How is that still active?
It's still there. I'm redoing that site, my site. It's a lot of new things are happening with that. And with that is even the consumer, right? Just take us as wine professionals out. When we walk into a wine store or we buy a bottle of wine, our food preferences may be different than other cultures, right? And every culture has their own food preferences. We just need to show more wine with that. And that's how we bringing people in. It's one of those things, most people eat fast casual. That's why I brought up like the fast casual restaurants. Everyone's not sitting down to have a meal. Some people are standing up, they're at their bar. It came in a bag to their home. So for me, that's where I approached them with food and wine. That's the easiest way to, I was tasting an Arnaz, and everyone's so different, right? I love the lemon ones. Well, in the US, we have a place called Wingstop. All they do are wings, right? Wings and fries. And I was like, this wine goes with lemon pepper wings. Super Bowl's coming up in the States. I'm telling everybody to go get Italian Arnaz wine to have with those Wingstop lemon pepper wings.
Okay.
It's the perfect pairing. Because people aren't thinking high-end wine and like wings.
So what is like one takeaway you think from coming to Grandi Langhe?
I think the takeaway is there's amazing wine out there at every price point. And sometimes I think we as the consumer, we're so used to being everything so easy to find. But I think if you do a little hunting, if you do a little research, you'll be happy with what you find. Because also Piedmont this is a great region.
All right.
I need to come back. I need to come back a little longer and just explore.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us today,
Thanks,
Julia
Stevie.
Coney at Grandi Langhe, coming live 2026 edition. Until next year.
Until next year.
Ciao ragazzi.
Bye.
Progetto finanziato con lo sviluppo rurale Piemonte 2023-2027. Intervento SRG10 promozione dei prodotti di qualità. Regione.piemonte.it Sviluppo rurale. Si invita al consumo responsabile delle bevande alcoliche.